Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Rehnama Academy Shakot, YouTube channel Rana Ali @Rana Ali 7476. Dear viewers, dear students, audience, Assalamu alaikum. Today lecture again is on science subject for cadet colleges. It's continuation of the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, I talked about the working of a plant, how plant works. Today we will discuss its various systems which are working in a plant, how plant prepares itself for the process of photosynthesis, light synthesis to prepare to make. Dear students, plants are the producers in this world. If producers are absent in this world, remember there is no existence of life on this earth crust. So mainly, if we see the system workings, the system which are working in a plant, we can classify or divide into main two categories, two parts. One is the root system, second is the shoot system. Dear students, roots grow towards the ground and they are divided into primary root, secondary root, tertiary roots. Then at the tip of the root, that is root cap, there are hair-like structures. Those hair-like structures are named as root hairs, hair-like structures. The function of these hair-like structures is to enhance the absorptive area for the plant for absorbing water and minerals, and they help in absorption of water and minerals. How this mechanism takes place? This water and minerals are absorbed by the plant with the help of root hairs by the process of diffusion and osmosis. Diffusion is the movement of molecules from higher concentration towards the lower concentration, mean from greater amount to lower amount, as soil particles are rich with water and minerals. So definitely the first diffusion will come into action. So diffusion will take place. With the help of diffusion, these molecules are absorbed by the root hairs. Remember, once they reach to root hair, then the entrance of water molecule and minerals within root hairs is the osmosis. Because once movement of the molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration, means from higher amount to lower amount, involves some membrane or filter. So here epidermal membrane is there, that is the outer protective layer on the roots. So this entrance involves the membrane. So molecules have to pass through these filter membranes. So that's why it is the osmosis. Now we see the internal structure of root, outer covering, that is protective layer, it is named as epidermis. Then cortex cells are there. The function of the cortex cell is to store water and food. Now, this water and the absorbed minerals, they are conducted from roots to the leaves. Leaves basically photosynthetic site where this process of photosynthesis takes place. I will talk on the leaf structure and its mechanism of working, how this photosynthesis takes place. So one raw material, that is inorganic substance needed for photosynthesis, is the water. It is absorbed by plant with the help of root, and particularly on root with the help of root hairs. Then this water is conducted with the help of xylem tissue. These are two vascular bundles working in a plant, xylem tissue and phloem tissue. Remember, these xylem and phloem tissue are running from roots to the leaves. They conduct this water from roots to the leaves, and if we see the pattern of existing these vascular bundles within the shoot, that is the next part of the same lecture. So remember, outer side, the vascular bundles which are present, first is the epidermis, then definitely cortex cells are there, then these vascular bundles are present alternately. On the outer side are the phloem tissues, and inner side are the xylem tissues. So xylem conduct water from roots to the leaf. Now we come on the shoot system. The shoot system grows above the ground. This shoot system involves or consists of stem. Then on the stem are twigs, branches. Branches bear the leaves, and flowers are also born on the same part. That is the reproductive part. So vegetative part and the reproductive part. Dear students, the internal structure of the shoot is again consisting of the epidermis, that is the protective layer. Then next to epidermis are the cortex cells. The function of the cortex cells is to store water and the food prepared by the plants through process of photosynthesis. Then we come on the leaf. Leaf again covered by two layers, upper epidermis, lower epidermis. In the lower epidermis are tiny holes. Those tiny holes are also known as stomata. Singular is the stroma, guarded by, each stroma is guarded by two guard cells. Those guard cells help stomata for the exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. Remember, carbon dioxide is another inorganic substance needed for the process of photosynthesis. I will not discuss today the mechanism of opening and closing of the stomata. It will be discussed later on in the next lecture. But remember, each stroma is guarded by two guard cells which help in opening and closing of the stomata. And these stomata, with the help of these guard cells, get exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. During daytime, this carbon dioxide is needed for the process of photosynthesis. So plants take this carbon dioxide from atmosphere, from the environment, and during daytime, during process of photosynthesis, oxygen is produced as a byproduct in excessive amount. So in addition to the breathing process that is taken place by the plants, so they also use the oxygen for their breathing process, but extra oxygen is expelled out through stomata in the atmosphere, and we are using that oxygen for our survival and existence. Now we see the internal structure of the leaf, the mechanism. So earlier I named epidermis, protective layer on the upper side and lower side of the leaf. Then there are mesophyll cells. These are spongy shaped cells. These are the actual sites for photosynthesis. These are the actual sites for the photosynthesis to be taken place. So in the mesophyll cells, different pigments are present, namely different chloroplast. Chlorophyll is the prominent one. Most of the plants get this chlorophyll, that is the green pigment. The leaves are seen to be green due to presence of this pigment, that is the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll helps the plants to absorb sunlight, which is needed for the process of photosynthesis. In absence of this sunlight, or in absence of this heat or the temperature that is needed for process of photosynthesis, it must be from 15 degrees centigrade to 25. Below that, this process is stopped. Above 25, this process is stopped. So this is what the range for different plants for having the process of photosynthesis. So major source of heat is the sun. This heat is absorbed by chlorophyll, by the plants. And in the mesophyll cells, reaction takes place between carbon dioxide and water in the presence of heat, and plants are succeeded in manufacturing glucose C6H12O6 along with the production of oxygen as a byproduct, which we use for our breathing process. Plants also use the same oxygen for their oxidation and breathing. We also need this oxygen for our survival, for our life. Dear students, I am not delivering these lectures in detail because the level of 7th class students is not as up to the FSC level. The lecture that is to be delivered to the students at O level, A level, matric or FSC, this lecture is not useful for the students for cadet colleges. That's why I'm keeping this lecture simple, not using complicated scientific terms in my lecture, and I'm uttering the words and communicating with you, observing pauses. Reason is that you may focus, you may hear me very clearly. Each and every word is to be simulated by you conveniently, and you may get credit from my talk, from a lecture. My dear students, if you start listening my lectures carefully, you will be ready for Cadet College's anti-test exam, inshallah. Hopefully, you might have listened my lecture today very clearly, and you will be credited or you will be benefited by my lecture. I hope for the same. I wish for all the students who are listening to me, who are attending my lecture. There are so many students attending my lecture live, and those who are not added in my live lecture, so they may attend this lecture later on from the YouTube channel @Rana Ali 7476, or you may contact with Rahnama Academy Shah code 0333815667. Thank you. Having good wishes for all my students. Assalamu alaikum.